so much. Give it up for your host, everyone. Come on. It's really filled out. What's up, everyone? My name is Peter Kim. I just turned 40, and no, it's bad. Everything fucking hurts. All of you look really young and beautiful. I would suggest not turning 40. It's really embarrassing. No, thank you for laughing. You look very young. How old are you? Bitch. Cute Asian bitch. Let's get rid of her. 32 is great. I remember being 32. I was a prostitution whore. To quote my favorite Italian, I'm boring now. I've been with my partner for 8 years, and sex is getting boring. Anyone been in a long-term relationship? You are? With this person? Looks like your sex is great. Both of you have a glow, and you're not ashen like me. I've been with my, how long have you two been together? 20 years, holy shit, let's give it up for them. Wow, what are you doing at this straight backyard? No one's gay or a bus driver. This is psychotic. Where am I? Do you know the comics here? Are you a neighbor? Do you live right here and you're like, fuck it, join them? 20 years, amazing. So yeah, you must have some tricks for sex. Please tell me after the show. Last week I kneeled down to give my partner of 8 years a blowjob, and both my knees cracked. And I was like, who am I, Sir Ian McKellen? Like, what the fuck is happening? How am I the oldest gay? Like, the last thing you want to hear in foreplay is popcorn knees. You know what I mean? Like, that's not... Anyway, so my body's been changing a lot. I'm gaining weight as well, and I'm developing this thing. My whole mom side has it. A lot of like chubby Koreans have it. It's this chin-neck continuum, which I call a chink. And I can say it. And it's, my whole family's chinky, trust me. It's a genetic thing. And and also, like, I don't know, maybe because this area is getting fatter, like 32, when I was 32, honey, I had no gag reflex, okay? It was a laundry chute, you know what I mean? Like, my 40th birthday, like, come January, somehow, I put, like, a toothpick in my mouth, and I was like, eh! Like, it's got, all of a sudden, my gag reflex is super sensitive. My gag reflex is highly offended. She is Gen Z, and I don't know what happened. I never had a problem. Trust me, I was like a fellatio phenom, okay? And now just a little bit of entrance, like it's just not great. It feels bad. Like my heart is gay, but the throat homophobic. Something's wrong. I am gay, but I grew up evangelical Christian. I know, gasp, I know. Some of you are Scientologists and you're like, that's bad. Shame. Evangelical Christians, if you don't know evangelical, the sect of evangelicals, it's the most annoying Christians. You know, like, okay, so if you don't know, is anyone a vegan? No vegans, no bus drivers, no gays. Is this Burning Man? What is happening? Are we still there? So you know how, like, does anyone know a vegan? Okay. So you know how you had like normal vegan friends who are like, this is my ethos. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, good for you, you know, type of thing. Evangelicals are like the vegans that you go out to eat with and then they just stare at you and moo. You know, like that's my family. And so it took a while for me to come out. And you know, when I came out, like I had no idea like where to go to date. And I am 40, so when I came out, it was 1910. So like it was, it was a weird place, and I found myself where every like lost gay man goes. I found myself on Craigslist.org. A fan, yes. I don't know about you guys, but Craigslist for me personally was just a little too rapey. So I went the other direction and I landed it on eharmony.com, which I personally found not rapey enough. So I landed on Grindr, which we all know is the Goldilocks zone of dick and danger. So Grindr's great. It's like Tinder, but violent. And you will die. And Grindr's fun for a while until you realize oh my God, I'm at rock bottom. So let me tell you, at age 30, before your age 30, I left a career in tech to pursue this, and I regret it every day. And at age 30, I was interning, which means free work, at a long-form improvisational comedy school. So yeah, I was peaking, and and I'll tell you why I left Grindr, because I was cleaning up urinal cakes, and I was on Grindr at the same time because, whatever. I get turned on by weird things. Anyway, I was on Grindr, and I was like, okay, let me just clean up these fucking cakes, clock out, and go suck some dick, right? So, I'm horny. I'm ready to do this. And this guy messages me, and he is, I could only describe him as a ethnically white. Exactly. What do we call Vin Diesel? That's what he was. Vaguely Italian. He looked like a white Ninja Turtle, and I was into it. So he messaged me. He was like, "You're cute," and I was like, "Stop it!" And he was like, "Okay, no, seriously, you're cute. Let's meet up." And I was like, "Okay, send me your address." And he was like, "Okay, great." And a few minutes go by and nothing. Another few minutes go by and nothing. And his green dot that says he's available goes dark, which makes me go darker. And so I'm depressed, and I'm pissed off and horny, not a great trifecta. So I waddle over to the only place that could fill this emotional chasm, my neighborhood Taco Bell. And I go and I order my 3 chicken chalupas, and I'm sitting there, looking at my phone and crying and shoving the chalupas in my face. And on the 3rd chalupa, halfway down my throat, I get a toot-toot on my Grindr, and it's Vin Diesel. And he's like, "Sorry, my phone ran out of battery. I just charged my phone. Do you want to come over?" And I'm in this in the fluorescence of Taco Bell at 2:30 in the morning, 3rd chalupa down my mouth, and I'm like, "No, this is not the best time to be hooking up. No. This just was wrong timing." And then he sent me a dick pic, so I said, "Be there in 5." And so I get there, and here's what. I was in a bad place, clearly, and emotionally, I just didn't feel good about myself. So I was out here, just hooking up with randos, and I was just bursting through red flags, just ignoring red flags. First red flag, he comes out, he stands in the doorway with his terry cloth towel, and he goes, "Hey, you're cuter than I thought." And I go, "Oh, thanks." And he goes, "What kind of Asian are you?" I know, 40-year-old Peter is like, "Fuck you." But 30-year-old Peter, who's working for free at the IO Improv Theater, I was like, "The kind that swallows?" And he was like, "No, seriously, what kind?" And I go, Korean. He was like, good, that's my favorite. I should have left, but instead I said, we got something in common. So I go in, we start making out. He takes me to his room, and when I tell you his house was spick and span, it was so clean. It was like everything was white. It was clearly some kind of OCD thing, like things were grouped in fours. Like, yeah, seriously, like I was afraid he was a serial killer, but then I saw the books he displayed, and it was Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no way I'm getting killed by someone who displays Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like, God's not that twisted. So it's not even like the British covers, you know what I mean? Like, yuck. And so, long story short, we get into his bed, lily white sheets. It's like 1,000 thread count. It's so nice. And we start fucking. And of course, I bottom because, as gay law says, I have the smaller butthole. So that's how it works, by the way. Whoever has a smaller butthole bottoms, because if you have a big hole, who wants that? So I'm bottoming because I have a tiny hole, and he's fucking me, and I'm like hanging onto the bed like this. And he's like, call me daddy. And I'm like, he's like, call me daddy. And I'm like, I have a weird relationship with my father. I need to really like, I'd rather talk to my therapist first. You know, like, and he's like, call me daddy. And I'm like, ah. And then I pull the sheet off. He gets so pissed. He gets off of me and walks around the bed to fix the sheet. And me, I'm sitting there like this. Just my eyes moving, like tracking him, like a painting in a haunted house, you know, like I'm like, don't move, you know, like I'm looking at his suitcase, like, will I fit in there, you know, like it's just. And then, you know, I'm just like, okay, this is not good. I got to get out of here. Like, the vibe isn't right. And then he starts, like, he gets back on, and he's, like, starting to get back into it. And he's like, call me daddy, come on. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, come on, call me daddy. And I'm like, no, no. And he goes, call me daddy, you little chink. I know. I was like, this? No. And I was just like, that's when I finally was like, this is the final straw. I can't do this. I was like, have some fucking dignity. Peter, get the fuck out of here. Go home. You can't be doing this. So I like pull away from him. And at that point, all 3 chicken chalupas spray out of my asshole onto his lily white sheets. I get off the bed, I look at him, his eyes turn black. Full aneurysm. I look at the poop on the bed and somehow it's spelled out gook. You know what I mean? Like the right slur, you know? And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I take a towel, wipe my ass, and I'm just like walking backwards out of this guy. He's still like trembling. And I just remember thinking like, girl, like if you're gonna fuck a racist, make sure you traumatize him. Thank you so much. Welcome back, your host, Adam.
Peter Kim, everybody! Let